example. Yeah,
That's a drastic one. Yeah, there was a plastic surgeon that I worked with. I did a retreat in Costa Rica, and it was 40 people, and everyone was participating. And he had applied like 3 nights before at like 2 a.m, and it was a soul blazing retreat. So at the end of the retreat, I had a one-on-one with everyone to wrap up. What was your experience? We had 3-4 teachers. So, but I was the one that let me wrap up. How was your experience? Tell me this, and gave them one private session. And he said, so when he came in, I'm like, you're barely there. What? He said, oh, I really came here to take pictures. I haven't been to Costa Rica, and I kind of want to spend time on my own. I said, you Googled a soul blazer at 2 a.m, and you paid all this money for this retreat. You could have just come here on your own and taken pictures. No, I want to be part of a group, and I wanted this and that, but I don't really need therapy. I said, you know what? Leave the room, because I knew a little bit about him. He's like, what do you mean? I said, leave the room and walk in, so he leaves the room. Then I'm laying on the couch, and then he walks in. I'm like, oh shit, he's home. Kids, hide, because I knew he had 4 kids and a wife. Then he's like, what are you doing? I said, that's how your wife feels about you. When you come home, nobody likes you. You're like this, incredible, angry force. And your kids run and hide from you. Your wife doesn't like you. She'd divorce you if she didn't need the money. And I said, go out of the room again. And then I laid on, pretend I was in bed and I was a patient of his. Then I said, pretend you're coming to check on me. I'm like, get away from me. Your negative energy is keeping me sick. And it's like, what are you talking about? This is the dialogue. I went back and forth with him for 10 minutes. But this is the dialogue that people feel when you're around you. I said, you have really bad energy. You don't care about people. You don't care about your wife, your kids. You don't care about your patients. So I could tell you don't care about you. You're arrogant. You're rude. You do not make one friend here. You're kind of insulting me. Like, oh, I don't want to come to your thing. You're coming and you're walking away. And it's like, why is he walking away? Then you're distracting me because I'm going, why is he away? What's going on? And he's like, oh, I didn't realize I was doing that. I go, yeah, that's how you do life. It's all about you, you, you. So nobody likes you. Everyone hates you. And he's like, so I said, okay, long story short, what would you like to do? And he ended up saying, my parents needed a doctor or lawyer, and I hate law. So I decided to become a doctor. I hate blood. I hate this. I hate that. But I've been doing this for my parents. Now I'm successful at it, and I have kids, and I have to stay doing it because I'm married, and I don't want to be married. I had too many kids. I'm a loner. I'm a da. So I went through this whole thing. So long story short, I told him he needs to quit his job and become a writer, because he's very smart, has all these stories from everything that he's done, and tell the story about how you're pushed into a career, and how even if you make it to the top, you're still not successful inside because you are not happy. And what's the goal in life is really to be happy and to be a blessing in the world. Who are you loving, and who's loving you? Nobody's loving him, and he's loving nobody. So he ended up quitting and becoming an author and being successful at that. And when he wrote me and said, look at my book, I'm like, are you kidding me? You actually listened? He's like, yes. And so that was another.
Has he become a nicer person? Are people enjoying his presence?
Yes. And he got a divorce, but then he's a better father, and that he wasn't torturing her anymore. And he's a loner. He said, I just don't like people. I like to be by myself. He has all this wisdom, and he'll just hang out with people for a few hours here and there during the week. And he's home alone all the time. He said, this is where I should be. I'm not, it's just, that's not me. So he created a life that works for him, and he doesn't have to bite others because he's not forced to be in a situation that he doesn't want to be in. And his kids are older, so it's not like they're babies in the house. They're all in college or grown.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's really like shock therapy in a way. And it's, come on, we don't have time to waste.